Welcome to Two Guys, One Sport. I'm Luke, this is John. We're here with our Big 12 preview, looking into our predictions for the conference standings for the 2018 season. I think we're going to give you a little rundown on how we came to these numbers.
Right, guys. So how we came to these standings, these records, is we personally each went through and predicted every Big 12 game this year from every team, and we combined the records, and this is how we got 1 through 10, 10 through 1, and let's go ahead and run through the teams. Coming in first at 11-1, 8-1, we have West Virginia, and they have a very good quarterback wide receiver combination, Will Grier, David Sills, and I think they have a chance to be kind of a throwback quarterback wide receiver combination, kind of like Michael Crabtree, Graham Harrell, Sam Bradford, Ryan Borles, all those guys. So look for them to get the first seed and win the Big 12 regular season at 11-1.
Playing them in the Big 12 championship this year, we have Oklahoma coming in at number 2, which is a bit of a surprise, seeing that Oklahoma has really just ran through this conference in the past couple of years. We have them going 10-2, 7-2 in the conference. They will be breaking in a new quarterback in Kyler Murray. He transferred over from Texas A&M a couple of years ago. I think the offense will stay on course, maybe down a little bit, but that defense, who really struggled last year in Big 12 play against these high-powered offenses, I think is honestly going to take a step back. And that's what really comes down to it with their head-to-head versus West Virginia.
And in third place, just missing out on that, on the second year in a row in the Big 12 title game, we have the TCU Horned Frogs, 9-3, 7-2. They got a tough non-conference game against Ohio State with the suspended Urban Meyer, so we don't know how that's going to go, but I would expect them to be significant underdogs regardless of his status. And the thing with TCU is they lose Kenny Hill, big loss, but they got a guy with big promise coming in, Sean Robinson, and we'll see if he can kind of get over his freshman year lumps last year. And also underrated for TCU, their defensive tackle situation, Ross Blacklock out for the year with the torn Achilles. So they're going to have some young guys step up to fill in the gaps on the middle of that defensive line.
Number 4, we have the University of Texas Longhorns, a real trendy pick here in the Big 12. They got a lot of hype surrounding that program. Tom Herman came in last year, and he had his struggles here and there. This year we have him predicted to go 9-3, 6-3 in the conference. They named Sam Ehlinger as their quarterback. We'll see how that goes. They got Buechele as their backup, and they got a couple freshmen with a lot of promise. But I think Texas takes that step forward, but not that big step, as we're looking at number 4 in the conference.
And the top 4, that'll conclude what we consider the upper echelon or the cream of the crop of the Big 12. And so basically it's going to come down to these 4 teams through our predictions that are going to be battling for those 2 spots in the title game. The rest of the 6 teams, we expect to be a little more middle of the pack, a little more volatile in terms of they're a lot harder to predict. So these next few teams can go in any order we think. So starting off, we have K-State coming in 5th, 6-6, 4-5 in the Big 12. Pretty average record, but it's Kansas State. I mean, you know what you're going to get with them. Bill Snyder, great coach, pretty consistent. They beat who they're supposed to beat. They lose who they're supposed to lose to. There's a couple of flip-flop games in between. Could be 7-5, could be 5-7. Who knows? We got them at 6-6.
Surprise team last year we had coming in at number 6, Iowa State. They really made some big moves in the Big 12, but I think this year they're going to be one of those teams that can compete with those top teams, but I don't believe they pull any of those games out. I think they feed off of those lower 4 teams in the Big 12. And, I mean, when you get to Iowa State, there's nothing really flashy about them. I think they're going to be a consistent team, get bowl eligible, and that'll be the book on them.
And in 7th, we have Oklahoma State going 7-5, 4-5 in the conference. And they are a team that I personally am actually kind of probably a little bit higher on, only because of the fact I get that they lost Mason Rudolph. They lost a lot of weapons on the offense, but it's hard to count out a Mike Gundy team. He is rarely a non-double-digit win team. So having him at 7 wins is kind of a recipe for disaster in the prediction game, because I think that he has consistently proven himself to get double-digit wins with whatever team he has at Oklahoma State. So it'll be interesting. It's a deep conference this year. Can he get them up there to the double-digit win area? I don't know. Looks like it's going to be a hard job, but if anyone can do it, it's Mike Gundy.
Coming in at number 8, just missing out on bowl eligibility, we have Texas Tech going 5-7, 3-6 in the conference. Probably for one of the first times in a long time, Texas Tech fans are looking more forward to seeing their defense out on the field than the offense. They kind of have a little struggling option here with their quarterbacks. Looks like it might be McLean Carter that's going to start game 1 for them against Ole Miss. They're just one of those. I just don't see them taking a step forward. I think they're actually going to go back, miss a bowl game, and honestly, they can flip flop either way with 8-9 with them and Baylor.
Yeah, quick note on Texas Tech. It's tough for your defense to be your star unit in the Big 12. You got to have the offense to keep up in this league. So moving on to Baylor, 5-7, 2-7. Tech gets the nod over Baylor on head-to-head. So I look for Baylor to be very much improved from last year. I mean, kind of a disaster season in all forms. Look for them to start better. Look for them to pick up some wins in the Big 12, obviously, besides beating Kansas. Matt Rule, great guy. I think he's a man for the job. I think he gets the tracks going or gets the train moving in the right direction.
Coming in at the bottom, as usual, we have Kansas, just a struggling team in the Big 12. As long as Beatty's the head coach and their recruitment numbers are down, I can't see this team digging themselves out of the cellar. We have them going 2-10, 0-9. It was more there to say than Kansas is probably one of the more struggling teams, especially probably the most struggling team out of the Power 5 schools.
Yep. Well, thanks for watching, guys. We kept it pretty brief for our first video. Hopefully y'all enjoy it. And first weekend of football, so enjoy it, and we'll be back next week to see how we did and talk about the games and talk about week 2. Thank you very much.
2 guys, 1 sport. Thanks for watching.